Hey traders, welcome in. Let's go take a look at the charts today. And I think I am going to go back to live trading. There's a chapter in Nicholas Darvis's book at the end of his second crisis. He says it's like a man who crashed his plane and he either has to fly again or he'll lose his nerve forever. So I kind of relate to that. I do think I'm gonna have a long down here, a short here, and a short here. Although I think I'm gonna go wider on my stop with this short and allow it to cover two different trade ideas here. So I'll be short here on a sweep of this, but I'm gonna have a wide stop that will allow for possibly a sweep of this, 2.5%, and then this is the type of thing where with this wider stop, I would advance my stop pretty quickly, and then so if price did this and I got a fill, I would advance my stop and then look at where I could add my risk back on. Or if price did this, not necessarily. We'll see if it matters, but I do regret, and it was incorrect to advance my stop on this. I think the odds of an explosion down are a lot more than the odds of an explosion up. Maybe it's equally likely to go up or down, but if we have a move down, I think it's going to be much more violent because it would catch a lot of people off guard. This would be the first consolidation to break down, and this is a bear flag pattern above a key diagonal. Also, Bitcoin has held up incredibly well compared to the indices, which are just day after day is red, like we're heading back towards the bottoms. We're heading back towards this low. Bitcoin has not cared. It's held extremely well, but I don't think that will last forever. Like people are, yeah. I think Bitcoin will follow. So yeah, it'd be nice to still be in the short. Although it wouldn't surprise me to see sweep this and then smash through. Especially if there's a news event. Tomorrow is Thursday. There's nothing. Friday, maybe we get something. Let's take a look at the liquidity situation. And then I'm going to put on my trades. Mm, 12 hours asking me to go to 23,825, which is not very far from here. It's just above the daily high. Makes sense. 7-day is calling for a sweep to 24,250, which would be perfect. That would give me my entrance roughly. And then we go down. This is maybe better, but just for my first foray back into trading and trying to get back on track, I'd rather just not take as many losses and have a lower RR, higher win rate is what the stop would do for me. Also, it would cause smaller losses where if we claim this level, I could just consider stopping out or hold. The monthly looks hot above for sure. It just, yeah, it's possible. The 3 month looks below. So let's do it. I'm going to use a wider. I don't really like how the 5-minute and the 4-hour looks so different here. I almost just want to do it something like this, where it would allow for like a small wick over here. Because in order to get my stop past this 1 hour, it needs to be, at this point, unreasonably wide. I think anything past 2.5% is just too imprecise. And ideally, I think like 1 to 2% is a sweet spot. So this, I will do this. And I'm going to do that long from lower. I'm going to look at my habits and so on also. So with each hour that passes, this diagonal goes higher and higher. And I don't really like this 1 hour. Like I want to short below this because this is an area where people might bid. But this diagonal is really dangling on the edge here. So I would have liked to break it earlier and go before these lows right here. Let's take a look at the more local liquidity to the downside and see where we could enter before. Mm, 22,950 is when selling would start. For selling, which is under here. So I still like the idea of being just under there. It would also be far enough down that it would be like a significant break of the level, not just a small break of the level. But if we look here, 23,250 looks like for selling too, which is just under here. The problem with 23,250 is right now it would be above the line. So I kind of like just being right below this fair value gap. And then how to do my stop is tricky because being up here would be the safest, but again, like if it's correct, it should just go. Like it should just break down. Right. So really depending how we look at it, we've already kind of broken it. We did, and that's why I took a loss. Locally, it really looks like a breakdown is imminent to me, but I always feel that way. The 12 hours, finance, buy bit. Showing some heat at 23,250. So in theory, I would want to enter right before there. I could put my high inside the day. I kind of like getting my high over this gap here. There's two ways to run it, or a couple different ways to run it. So one is closer to these levels, which might be better because this is a place where price could bounce. People might want to enter in those gaps. So being under them would be maybe get a better reaction. It's also farther under the line. Just the problem with it is the stop is not in as good a place. It's again feels unreasonably far to put the stop all the way up there. I feel like this fucker already broke down, it just hasn't really done it yet. Like, now I have to be prepared for the possibility of this level getting swept again. But I like that it's a fair value gap that has been poked already. Typically those work as support or resistance one time, well, and then not after that. So I definitely want to do this. I'm just thinking about the best way. Maybe just being under this in the 1 hour. Something like, ideally I want my stop right here. Because we could, no, but like if we go under, I want to be comfortably under as well. I could just use a tight stop and be prepared to try multiple times too, like, so ideally our entry is below the 5-minute fair value gap and above here. I don't want a 3% stop though, that seems unreasonably, like, just unnecessarily wide. There's not really a nice low time frame, anything to give more guidance as well. So should I defer to the stop? The problem with entering like this is we could just keep bouncing on the line. And I keep thinking, oh, this time's going to be the break. But I think I will go under here, which is comfortably under the line. And then I'm going to use a tight stop. And I hope actually we would come fill this in and then work our way down. So let's do this. And then I'm going to just leave my limit orders on the challenge as they were. They're close and good enough. And let us go to Bybit here. And first we will do a conditional. I'm going to risk 1,000 on a 0.015 stop. The trigger price is going to be 23.086. 23.086, and then my stop is going to be at 23.420.5. I don't care about the take profit because I'm not going to take profit until there's a signal to do so. 965, 64. Let's go on here. 1.05, 1000. 23,085. 23,431. No wonder. Okay. Conditional. Okay. Now we're going to have a limit short up higher using the 4 hour as the entry. And the stop is going to be able to possibly survive, not likely survive, but possibly survive a sweep of this too. And yeah, my reasoning and desire for wanting to take this trade has everything to do with this diagonal trend line and believing that if it cracks, there could be serious downside. And there's a lot of air down below too. So I will try a predictive sweep here on a 1.0175. Then I'm going to review my system, review my habits, and try to prepare for tomorrow a little bit. So by value, my order price is going to be 24,322, and my stop loss is going to be 24,746. And again, I'm not going to have a take profit because I'm only going to exit if there's a signal. So the idea for this long is we would have a pretty nice breakdown from this and immediately go to the next trend line, which is down here, and the bottom of this 4 hour gap. And what else is it? The stop can absorb a sweep of this into this as well. And I would use a wide entrance, relatively wide stop, which again, if it worked, I would be able to tighten that up. Possibility of, okay, we bounce out that, and I don't know, it's just a predictive sweep. So I got a couple of fibs. Fibs are sort of levels. People look at them, so I can't say they're nothing. We did bounce up a golden pocket. I'm curious from the high to the local low. A golden pocket is my entrance on this short. Yeah, my ideal would be overnight. We come up, we take this, and then we torpedo downwards. That would be perfect for how I'm setting up. And then bounce here. But I would try to hold for much lower. Okay, then we are going to once again do a limit long. A limit same. Now our order price is going to be 22,157, and our stop loss is going to be 21,770.2. Okay, so we have them. Now let's review our systems. So today I believe I just advanced my stops a little bit too early and in the wrong place. It should be, yeah, I didn't really get an exit signal. I don't think it's unreasonable to advance my, like I had a short right here. I don't think it's that unreasonable to advance my stop given the uncertainty here, but it would have been better to, I didn't get an exit trigger, although in theory it would have been better to take profit right here, or my stop should have gone right inside this wick instead of right here, put it right here, because it would make so much sense to sweep all this liquidity anyways, so oh well. Yeah, MetaTrader, I have this. I have my same orders. I kind of hate doing it, but okay, logging off charts by 10. I'm going to make it 10:30, by the way. I just think it's actually important to have stretch my hours. So also in the morning, I'm not going to walk the dog first, but breathing exercise, stretching, and journaling. Need to make sure I'm in the right. It's not immediate. No, checking charts of trading from phone and Twitter, Discord has actually been quite easy. And by default, I can only trade my own setups. Limit orders, yeah. Wide stops, yeah. Waiting to advance. This is something I need to work on, is stop just turbo adding to my position. It sometimes it works, but a lot of the times it just does not. And keeping my stops wide and my risk small works better. Especially when I consider, like, I only need 2R at 1% risk to maintain my lifestyle. And if I would say do 5 or 10R at 1% risk, I will be fucking killing it. Or make insane money. So I don't need these crazy home runs necessarily, although it'd be nice. And I want to do home run campaigns again, but I want to once again build up more capital first. Trading on daily, hourly, Bitcoin only, every inside ladder available. Yes. Today I didn't sweep anything. Preparing for the following day's levels in the morning. Okay, so that's something I need to do. Let's prepare for tomorrow's levels. So if we sweep this and I get front run, I'm gonna prepare here. If front run, inside ladder, limit, and stop are good. So if we front run this, if stopped out and reverse, inside ladder. So I'm not. If price consolidates up here, I will look for longs. Sweep of this, have to exit, and inside ladder again. Same with this level. If I get stopped out and breakdown occurs, can look for ways to get back in. Okay, so those are the levels. I wouldn't expect to go to new highs tomorrow, although it's possible. And then I can okay. Now the last thing I'm going to do before, I'll come back and look later, but before logging off is I wanted to share this with Cryptocurrent B, aka John. So if Bitcoin takes a major level, that has a lot of high priority, which is this diagonal with 3+ touches, then I will be in a trend continuation. If it sweeps it, then I could try to react. I'll try to react, but I might be asleep if that happens. That's the main thing I'm looking at. And then sweeps of levels from above, trend reversal, and then what happens at the highs of the range would be important. But yeah, I see. It seems relatively simple right now. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy or it's going to work perfectly, but okay. Oops, that's not right. Maybe it would be better to do this as a saved file. I bet you the resolution would be higher. Or maybe it's going to be exactly the same. Okay. All right, that's it for today. Gonna do some other things now. Peace.